We're finally at number 1 in Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s career. We went from the lowest of lows of 2009 to the highest of highs of 2014. This season, even higher highs, even lower lows than 2009. It includes both of these, but it is the best season. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s number 1 season in his career is... You cannot go wrong with 2004. Most wins in a season, 6. 16 top 5s, ties him with 2015 for the most. 21 top 10s, second most in a season, only 2013, 2015 beat that. It tied 2003 for second most top 10s. It was an absolutely outstanding and competitive season for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Over 1,000 laps led, the most laps led in a season, and he ranked 5th in points, 12.1 average. Finished right here how consistent he was in points. Before the chase, he was right around first, second, third. He's basically top 3 all season, all of the regular season except for one race, which was after Las Vegas, where he had a horrible race. We'll get to that race, but otherwise, he was first, second, or third the whole regular season. Just showed the consistency that 8 crew had in the season. And it starts out actually with the non-points race at Daytona, the Budweiser shootout, where with 2 laps to go, Dale Jarrett leading the outside lane around, and right behind him is Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. Jr. going for back-to-back Budweiser shootouts. Remember, in 2003, Dale Jr. won the Bud shootout and looking to go back-to-back and win this one as he has one fast hot rod. As they come off turn number 2, Jarrett gets beside Kevin Harvick down the backstretch. Jr. trying to push Jarrett clear so that he can have a shot for himself as well. So down the back, still side by side. And as you can see, no one really gaining advantage. Both the inside and the outside pretty consistent. As they go through 3 and 4, it looks like maybe Jarrett just a little bit better in the corners than Harvick on the outside lane. As they come off of 4, they see the white flag on the Budweiser shootout, and it's Dale Jarrett side by side with Kevin Harvick. Dale Jr. and Rusty Wallace behind the inside lane gets a little clogged up right there, and that really changes it because Wallace has no help to push Kevin Harvick. So now Dale Jarrett with a big push from Jr. gets a big push from Martin and Gordon. Jarrett's going to get clear in turn 1, and here comes Dale Jr. to second. He has a shot this thing. Before all is said and done, he's got a shot to win the Budweiser shootout. So as they come off turn number 2 and down the backstretch, Jr. trying to get in the draft of Jarrett. Jarrett tries to break the draft. Jr. doesn't really go down there with him. He stays in line. And see right there, Newman gets spun to the outside wall down the backstretch. NASCAR does keep the race green, though, however. They're going to let them race back to the checkered flag. So Dale Jarrett still leads as they go through 3 and 4. See Jr. trying to get a run there, but no one really pushing him. Harvick trying to give Jr. the push. Jr. tries to go high. Doesn't have the run. Tries to get back low to get the run. Doesn't have it. And Dale Jarrett win the Bud shootout. And Dale Jr. ends up second in the Budweiser shootout. A great result for him. And then we go on to the Gatorade duels where Jr. dominated pretty much over Tony Stewart. He'll come down the front stretch. He'll win his Gatorade duels so far Speed Weeks. Second and first for Dale Jr. He qualified third, obviously, because he won his duel. Moves up to the pole, however, after pole sitter Greg Biffle has to go to the rear. So Jr. ends up leading the field to the green flag for the start of the Daytona 500. He's going to try to get out front and lead. A lot of drivers and a lot of teams in the garage area earlier in that morning of the Daytona 500 said if Dale Jr. gets out front, it's going to be almost all over because it's going to be so hard to pass him. He's been so fast all Speed Weeks. So as they go through 1 and 2, still trying to get up to speed here. Dale Jr. and Elliott Sadler are side by side as they come off 2 and down the backstretch. Start there, no one really getting an advantage. Jr. trying to get the side draft from Sadler as they come down the backstretch. Jr. and Stewart, that's going to be a combination we see over this season at the restrictor plate tracks. They've been longtime friends, and it shows with the plate tracks this season. They do a lot of working together. They're a lot near each other at the front of the field during these 2004 plate tracks. So as they come off of 4, who's going to lead lap 1 of the Daytona 500? It was Dale Jr. by about half a car length over Elliott Sadler. Still trying to get clear, however. No one getting that push clear yet because he's Stewart right on Jr.'s bumper there as they approach turn 1. Jr. gets a good push there to get clear of Elliott Sadler. So now he has control of the race for now as they're double file on back. As they come off of 2, you see Stewart there trying to move up and side drive Sadler. Allowed Jr. to pull away a little bit as they come down the backstretch. So right there, the run that Jr. gets once Stewart goes up to side draft. Jr. pulls away by a great amount. Stewart still trying to get clear there from second. It's going to end up with the Daytona 500 coming down between Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and the lap car of Kurt Busch. Jr. and Kurt Busch made contact, cut Busch's tire, so Kurt falls a lap down, but he's in the thick of things at the end, and that really impacts the end of this race and how it goes. So we skip ahead later in the race, 20 laps to go. Dale Jr. pulls beside Tony Stewart for the race lead. He got a great run to make that move as I obviously had no help. We mentioned how Kurt Busch, his tire had been cut by Dale Jr. earlier in the race, so obviously Kurt not going to help Jr. out as he goes up to help Tony Stewart. Stewart gets a push from Kurt Busch to try and get by Dale Earnhardt Jr. So as they come down the backstretch, Jr. going to try and fight back. He wants to get to this race lead, wants to control the lead. As you see down the backstretch, that amazing side draft. He's going to get up there and side draft again, almost contact with Stewart. As they go down to turn 3, Dale Jr. using that mastery of the drafting that he knows to move in front of Tony Stewart to lead the Daytona 500. With under 20 laps to go, can Dale Jr. win the 500? The race's father took 20 attempts to win. Dale Jr. trying to get it in just his 5th start in the Daytona 500. So Jr. crossed the stripe, leading now with 18 laps to go. Jr. trying to hold off the field, trying to win his first Daytona 500 of his career. Is 18 laps, trying to hold off Tony Stewart as we skip ahead to the finish.
Fans come to their feet as Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Tony Stewart take the white flag. We're in the final lap of the Daytona 500. Jr. took the lead from Tony Stewart with 19 laps to go after he trailed Stewart's orange Chevrolet for much of the central part of the race. Now he's got to hang on for 3/4 of a lap to earn a victory in the sport's biggest event. Stewart not close enough to make a move yet. It's all going to come down to whether Earnhardt has a bobble or a problem in this final third of a lap.
You can't get emotional yet because you've got to get off turn 4 and back to the start-finish line.
You can see it now.
The legacy continues. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the 46th Daytona 500.
Got it. Great run for Wimmer, too. Fantastic.
Tony Stewart 2nd, Scott Wimmer 3rd, Kevin Harvick 4th, and Jimmy Johnson 5th. For Dale Earnhardt Jr., his first victory in the 500 in his 5th try.
There are some happy people. But none no happier than him.
Oh, that's right.
All right, Junior, stop right there and acknowledge these fans.
He's got something up his sleeve, I think.
Just get out and acknowledge these fans. They love you.
Here he comes.
Here he comes. Get out of the way, photographers. Let me in there.
You want to know what winning this race means to someone? Have a look. What was it he said when we interviewed him earlier at the start of the broadcast day, a little afternoon Eastern? Said, if I win this race tonight, I don't know when the party's going to stop. Well, it sure started now.
Now there's a hug.
Yeah.
Tony Eury Jr., Dale Earnhardt Jr. Their dads grew up together. They grew up together. A hug from his uncle, Danny Earnhardt.
Yeah, valid point just made to me there. He is leading the NASCAR Busch Series race that's going to run here tomorrow. I guess you better be careful how long that party goes on, huh?
J.R. Rhodes there in the white shirt who...
And the NASCAR official saying, okay, let's get this car to victory lane, please. We got a trophy to give you. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 3rd, now completing the 3rd father and son combination to win a 500. Lee Petty and Richard Petty did it. Bobby Allison and Davey Allison did it. And now Dale Earnhardt and Dale Earnhardt Jr. 29th driver to win the 500. He Might get that thing stuck in the grass. It's wet from all the rain we had here last night.
I think there's enough people down there to push it out.
Oh, yeah. He said, I saw my daddy do this back in 1998.
Yes, sir, BP.
I'm in victory lane, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. will once again climb out of his victorious Budweiser Chevrolet. In the same victory lane where 6 years ago today, his father celebrated a win in the Great American Race, the only time his dad won that race. It took his father 20 tries. Junior is here as a kid. There's Tony Eury Sr., a big hug for his other son. Now the family's here. Teresa Earnhardt.
Hey, you mad at me?
So, how long's the party gonna last?
Man, I don't know.
You got a race tomorrow, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to do that, huh? Good God, I'm Daytona 500 champion. I can't believe it.
Forever, Dale, forever.
Yeah, I'm just amazed, man. It's just awesome that I couldn't believe I passed him by myself.
Tell me about it.
What's going on here?
Tell me about it, because you were thinking about it for a while.
Oh, I was trying for a damn while, but I didn't know it's going on forever. It's like a magic trick. I tried to figure out how to pass him, and I got a run on him, and made it happen somehow. I don't know. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing at that point. You're just trying your heart out, and I had a great car, awesome car built by Tony Sr. and all the guys. I want to say to my sister, my mama back home, all my friends. Good God, I can't believe it. It's the greatest ever.
We talked during testing. You said you thought it's harder to win the Daytona 500 than to win the Nextel Cup champion.
Yeah, I ain't got to worry about that no more.
You sure don't.
Man, I tell you, it's a hard race to win. You know, it's a season in itself. That entire race is just, there's so many things going on, so much running through your mind. You know, I've seen it, been lost so many times by Dad over and over, and I was taught so many lessons by this place before I ever got behind the wheel, and God, I'm glad I ain't got to worry about it no more. Man, this is awesome. You're only the third father-son combination to win the Daytona 500. Dale, your father won it 6 years ago today. Yeah, I mean, he was over in the passenger side riding with me. I'm sure he was having a blast. Believe it or not, I'm real surprised. The Goodyear tire did good all day. I didn't expect our car to handle them so well, but the car drove awesome all day. It's real loose there at the end, but you know, had to be that way to be able to run good on old tires. And Tony had a great car. We kind of been such good friends, you know, and we helped each other all day. And by the way, thinking of my other teammate, Michael Watcher, I'm glad he's all right. That was a scary-looking accident, but I got a full week ahead of me. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, you're going to be a little busy for the next few days. Hey, you're leading the championship standings, too. For the first time in my life. This is awesome. Congratulations, Dale. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the Daytona 500 champion of 2004.
Junior backs up his 500 win with a win in the Busch Series race at Daytona, so he sweeps the Daytona race there in Busch and Cup. He finishes a nice solid top 5 at Rockingham, then moves on to Las Vegas, where the car is just not right at all. He's been in and out of the garage, in on pit road. He's 38th position. Nothing going right for Dale Jr. He's 25 laps down. I mean, the car is just not where it needs to be for Dale Jr. You can see, obviously, on pit road now, and he'll hang the left to the garage area. Obviously, very disappointed in how this race has gone for him, as he's going to fall to 7th in points after the race, how it stands right now. As he pulls into his garage stall, obviously very upset with the day. So they're pulling into the garage, then pulling back out of the garage, and then of course he pulls back into the garage. So those issues there continuing, and then later in the race to get back out into the racetrack. So he's just trying to log laps. He's 50 laps down at this point. It's just a day for Dale Jr. and the 18 to forget he's 35th on track. Not much happening. He's still sideways out in the track, still trying to hang on to his car, still trying to get every position he can. Just very difficult though. Right there, he wouldn't even be top 5 in the points after the day, even though he started out with a 1st and a 5th at Daytona and Rockingham. This 35th place finish will drop him to 7th place in points, of course, if it stays like that. And obviously, it's going to look like he's going to stay 35th right there. Just loose off the corner of that car, obviously a handful. Fox is going to show a replay here as he comes off turn number 4, how sideways he is, how much he has to control that car. Somehow he hangs on to finish the race, but retires the car just a few laps before the finish for handling. That's the issue that he gives for retiring. So then they go to Atlanta, the race right after Las Vegas, and Dale Jr., maybe a little bit tired. He's had so many media obligations to do. He's been all over the country, and then testing, and then the Las Vegas race. But right now, the next race out after Las Vegas, he's going for the lead on Jeremy Mayfield with under 100 laps to go. Jr. side by side with 19 into turn number 1, trying to clear Mayfield to get to the race lead here to Atlanta, trying to get to victory lane for the second time in the season in 4 races. Fun fact, Matt Kenseth won the other 2 races this season. Matt Kenseth won Rockingham and Las Vegas, as Jr. trying to win here at Atlanta. He's coming to the white flag.
And you know, guys, last week we stood up here in this booth and we questioned, okay, is this now showing the inconsistency of championship form? When you come back from a run like last week to possibly win this race as we have 1 to go, yes, that shows championship contention.
Car really, it's awesome right now. That's as good as it gets. He's right out there rim riding.
And that was the key to Matt Kenseth last year. Make the car better as the day goes on so that the car is at its best at the end of the day.
Yeah, and they've done that today with Junior's car all day long. They just kept improving, and the weather came to them too, I believe.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Golden Corral 500, climbs to 3rd in the point standings as he notches his 11th career victory.
The 8 car is parked, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is up on top, just where he was before Las Vegas. And what a bounce back, what a rebound. The time to pit, the decision to pit, the response from his crew. And Dick Berggren is there in the celebration. Dick?
What a lot of beer down here, I'm going to tell you. Attaboy, Junior. How is it possible to have had such a tough week last week and to go so well this week?
Man, I don't know. Talk about from 0 to hero. That was awesome, though. Just a great race car at the end when it counted.
How about your test this week? Did that help you today?
Yeah. We're going to test it to Texas next week, too, so we're going after it. Man, I'm wore out. That was as hard as I ever drove.
How was your race today?
How's my race?
Yeah.
It was fun. The tires a little out of control, but we held on to it.
Who was your toughest competition out there?
Myself.
How so?
Just trying not to spin out, and it was real loose.
Congratulations. Great job. Steve Burns.
Team has a little fun with Fox in victory lane. Gets Chris Myers and Jeff Hammond on in victory lane with some Budweiser beer, as they're celebrating with the Fox boys now too. See them all soaked in beer, Budweiser. So we go to Darlington. Early on the race, Greg Biffle stays on the racetrack. Dale Jr. first off pit road this lap, number 15. Jr. going to try and drive right on by Biffle. Of course, points very important. You lead a lap, you get 5 bonus points. That's very crucial towards maybe the championship, depending on where you're seated. Of course, going into the chase, you're getting seeded and the amount of points you got depending on how you finish in the top 10 after Richmond. So if you're first, you're going to have a little more points than if you were, say, 5th or 6th in the points. So Dale Jr. gets clear to lead at Darlington the race after he won Atlanta. He'll finish 10th here, leading 18 laps. So it was a decent day for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Obviously, Darlington, one of his worst racetracks. He's admitted that. And he's just going to try and pull away now from the field. Obviously, though, ends up 10th. He falls back. But he did lead a good amount of laps, got some bonus points, and another consistent finish. Racking on those top 5s and top 10s, exactly what he needs to do in this season. So then we go to Bristol. Around the midway point of the race, Dale Jr. takes the lead from Rusty Walls, leads about 100 laps, just a little bit under. See the crowd's going wild. But then later in the race, issues with the 8 cars. He starts falling back. He needs to try and get down line. But he has different plans than getting down in line.
70 laps to the finish. It continues.
There he goes. There he goes.
He spins around.
And Casey Mears gets caught up.
Is out.
With Stanton Barrett.
I believe he's going to stay on the lead lap. He will, because remember, the field is frozen. The field is frozen.
And the leader is instructed, when you see the caution, slow down to pace lap speed.
He brought the caution that he needed, and it worked out just perfect. And Jeff Gordon will get the pardon. He'll be back on the lead lap here with about 60 to 70 laps to go.
Well, you know, you make your own luck. And he just made a whole pot full of it.
Dale Jr. spins to bring out the 8th caution of the day.
So Dale Jr. spins out on purpose to bring out the caution flag, so he does not fall a lap down. So right there, just loops the car in turns 1 and 2, but doesn't loop it all the way around. Just gets sideways, saves the car with the banking and the apron, and gets going the leader far enough back to where he can get going. The caution comes out, and Junior gets up to speed, falls in line, stays on the lead lap. This salvages for him an 11th place finish. Falls to 3rd in the points, though, as he's had 2 kind of mediocre days, and in 2004, I could say those are mediocre days. So we head to another short track of Martinsville. Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets out to lead at Texas. He ended up 4th, led 4 laps. Not much happened there. Martinsville is going to end up 3rd place, but led 154 laps. After that car, one of the best. You see right here, about midway through the race, Dale Jr. leading the race as he leads over 150 laps. But he'll end up 3rd. Just another one of those classic. Earlier in his career at Martinsville, he just wouldn't be able to close the deal out. Once again, falls to 3rd, but does move up to the points lead after this race. Once again, that's a very important stat there. You want to be the points leader up until Richmond, so you get the most points right here. You can see later in the race, under 100 laps to go. Jimmie Johnson, obviously the fastest car at this point in time, as he moves to the outside of Dale Jr. as they go through 3 and 4. As Johnson's car really working on the outside, Jr. trying to hold him off on the bottom lane. They just have 90 laps to go. Obviously, it's not going to happen as Dale Jr. hits turn 1 and 2. Johnson on the outside is going to get a great run here as they come off turn number 2. Jr. can't compete with that, and Johnson easily clears Dale Jr. to get to the race lead. Jr. falls back to 2nd, and they'll fall back to 3rd later on in the race. But still another consistent finish for Dale Jr. and gets up to the points lead. I'd say that's the most important part after Martinsville. And then we head on to Talladega. Maybe Dale Jr.'s best track, if not one of his best tracks, as he's getting a push on lap number 10 from Greg Biffle, trying to get to the race lead. He once again wants to lead this lap to get 5 bonus points towards the championship. So right there, pushing and shoving in the pack. Junior drives underneath Mark Martin to get clear to get to the race lead. You can see Michael Waltrip trying to come forward, and you have the 2 Roush cars of Mark Martin and Greg Biffle as they come off turn number 2. Down the backstretch, the crowd roaring as Dale Jr. gets out front at Talladega for the first time on lap number 11. Jr. is going to try and pull the crowd around now. Something very interesting, these mid-2000 races at Talladega, it seemed like the aero package they used really worked at Talladega, but the aero package they used at Daytona wasn't as great. It looked like it got strung out a little bit more at Daytona than maybe, say, Talladega, because at Talladega they stay packed together. It's a lot easier to make runs on a driver than it was at Daytona, so it's very interesting there with these like mid-2000 races, how it seems like the racing was a lot better at Talladega than it was at Daytona. So we jump ahead now. Later in the race, 9 laps to go. Dale Jr. leads, but Kevin Harvick gets a great push on the outside lane to get by Dale Jr. and gets clear. But once again, you have the 2 DI cars, as Darrell Waltrip calls them, car number 23. No, not car number 23. 8 plus 15 is 23. Darrell Waltrip just calls them car number 23. They work together so well. They stay with each other. It seems like they always finish 1-2. If they don't finish 1-2, one of them, of course, wins the race. That has been the trend throughout these 2000s. They have not really lost many of these plate races. So as we go through 1 and 2, you can see right there the front 3 poleways are side by side for a 4th. Dale Jr. trying to get away from Jeff Gordon and the others, as Michael Waltrip trying to get to Dale Jr. to push him, but Jr.'s car very fast. That happened on a restart, that pass. And Jr.'s car on the restarts during this day had not been very good. He had kind of fell back on all the restarts. Didn't seem like that car got to speed well, but once it was up to speed, it was a fast hot rod. So right there, he's still trying to clear Jeff Gordon as you have 2 pairs of teammates. Jimmie Johnson, Jeff Gordon up top, Dale Jr., Michael Waltrip down low, trying to just get clear of one another, trying to get a shot. The front 3 are right now single file. Kevin Harvick, Casey Mears, and Mark Martin. So as they come down to the trial, they're coming to see 7 laps of racing. Not much time left. And remember, a yellow flag would end it if they get within 5 laps to go. So that could be a big factor there into who wins this race. So as they go through 1 and 2, Dale Jr. gets a great run, still trying to get clear of Jeff Gordon. The outside lane kind of fades a little bit. Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip get together, and these final few laps will let the Fox crew take it from here, as in a wild and controversial finish to the 2004 Aaron's 499 involving Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, Jimmie Johnson, and many other contenders as Jr. pulls high for the race lead.
There he comes.
He has his teammate Michael Waltrip in the 15 car with him.
Car seems to be a little lazy on the restart, but I think he really wants to be right where he is.
You're clear. Clear. Michael's coming with you. He's clear too. Both of you are clear.
Uh-oh, Harvick has no friend.
There you go. Keep him coming. You got Jeff Gordon looking up the middle.
You made a run, Darrell. It only took him a half a lap.
Oh, man, I can't believe Junior dove down and left Michael hanging.
Nine's on the bottom by himself, 2 wide behind the 29.
And Michael Waltrip's backing up. He's back to about 10th spot.
Yeah, well, he and Dale Jr. are up on the outside together.
I mean, we got 140,000 people here with 5.5 laps to go. Nobody's sitting down.
Whoa, Gordon way to the bottom of the racetrack, and Jimmy Johnson comes right up the bumper of Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Gordon gets the lead. But can he keep it?
No, he can't. The 8 car is just so strong, they can make a run on him, and obviously they can get to, oh boy, that was almost a disaster.
Yes,
that looked like
was.
a Tony Stewart deal there.
5 laps to go this time.
Well, I got to say, this is the best race I've seen here in a long time.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., that 8 car was sideways off turn 4. I don't even think he ever got out of the throttle.
Couldn't.
Nope, lifters are losers here.
That's it.
Robbie Gordon in the mix now in 5th place, that bright orange singular car.
Trying to get up with his teammate.
Kevin Harvick.
But look at the outside line. Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. Michael Waltrip in the 15. He's fighting his way back up.
Gordon inches ahead.
Right there is where Junior is so strong. Sailing off into the
trouble.
turn.
1 car around, and it's Brian Vickers.
All right, the caution is out. And we are past the red flag lap. We are past the red flag lap. But remember, the field was frozen when the caution flag came out.
And who at that moment was the leader? We'll have to go back and see.
It would be obviously either Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 or Jeff Gordon in the 24.
So how many challenges do we have here?
Jeff Gordon will be the leader.
And I think they just told the crowd that too.
Scoreboard has not yet changed to reflect that, but that is what we're being told as of the moment of caution. The question will be, can we get restarted?
So Jeff Gordon has announced the leader of the race, but they have to try and get the track cleaned up. So here at the contact, Vickers goes around, gets a few other cars, but otherwise just spins around. It seems like they could get the track cleaned up in time. The question is, though, who was ahead when the caution lights came on? Because there's no definitive angle to show who was ahead when the caution comes on. See right there, Junior getting a great push from Jimmy Johnson up top. Gets beside Harvick, gets beside Gordon right there. Vickers starts to spin, but then the leaders go out of frame, and we don't see when the caution exactly comes on to where the 25 car goes around. The best shot we get is from an onboard camera with a 30 car, and that kind of shows when the caution lights come on, but it doesn't really show a definitive angle of the race leaders. As you'll see right here from this onboard of the 30 car, you'll see right here as he's in the middle of the pack, you see the leaders right there, you can see Junior on the outside, the spin starts, there you can see Junior get beside Gordon, dead even with him. We don't see any caution lights yet, then we see caution lights right there. And in my mind, right here, this picture shows that Dale Jr. is just ahead of Gordon, just beside him, and that's before we see any yellow lights come on. In my mind, it's a lot closer than NASCAR made out to be in terms of who was out front when the caution was called. It ends up Jeff Gordon gets the victory lane under caution, Dale Jr. second, but a very controversial finish here at Talladega. Jr. ends up second here at Dega.
But let's talk about the finish. Was the decision by NASCAR correct? Did Gordon win the race as far as you're concerned?
Well, I mean, I'm biased, of course, but I felt like I was ahead of him before the light came on, and certainly, I mean, if I beat the light, had to have been pretty close on the flag. So, I don't know. I couldn't see the flag stand. I don't know exactly how NASCAR makes their decision on freezing the field, exactly when they freeze it, but I thought I was a miles ahead of him. I didn't even think it was close, but it's a great points day, first or second. So, pretty happy about that. Unfortunately, we don't make the decisions or the rules, and we'll listen to what NASCAR has to say. I think Tony Sr. wants to see the film, wants to see what their decision, how they base their decision, and we'll go with that. So we've learned in the past to keep our mouths shut and to keep a better attitude about it. And it was I had a blast. I had so much fun. It was a couple times I shouldn't have finished the race. So we were real fortunate just to be where we were at the end.
Like we said, all class. Chris Myers.
After Talladega, Dale Jr. goes to Fontana, where he has a mediocre day, ends up just inside the top 20. But then here at Richmond, Dale Jr.'s probably favorite racetrack. He's loved short track racing. Richmond is short track, and it's one of his best. He's won so many times in the Busch Series, has run so well in the Cup Series. Right here, he's trying to move to the inside. Brian Vickers take the race lead early on, just about 30 laps in the race. Dale Jr. clears Vickers easily to get to the race lead, and that ends up being how it's going to end out Dale Jr. with a very fast car here tonight at Richmond. You can see here we skip at the 5 to go because Dale Jr. has had an outstanding night now. 4 laps to go. Dale Jr. will lead here at Richmond 115 of the 400 laps to get to victory lap after starting 4th. It was a great day all around for the 8 team and Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's lapping cars left and right. He's pulled away by over 3 seconds from second place. That car, outstanding. Obviously, mentioned Richmond, one of his best racetracks, if not his best racetrack, as he's won so many times in the Busch Series, so many times in the Cup Series. He has 3 Cup wins at Richmond overall. In the Busch Series, he has a lot. In fact, his last NASCAR win came at Richmond in the Xfinity Series with his own car. So Dale Jr. comes to see 2 laps to go out ahead of the field. He's trying to lap Kevin Harvick now, along with Rusty Wallace. So as it comes, he takes 2 laps to go. Just such a great performance for Dale Jr. and the Bud team, rebounding from Talladega in a rough race at Fontana. He still has the points lead. He's trying to extend the points lead here tonight as he comes down the backstretch. He's coming to see the white flag as Dale Earnhardt Jr. enters turns 3 and 4, coming to the white flag here at Richmond.
Flag this time, all clear. Outside, outside.
Boy, Junior just suddenly slowed. I guess he just didn't want to get involved with anything there. Got plenty of room between he and the second place car.
He can take his time.
All right, you're the man. That thing was awesome tonight. Good call in the pits, guys.
Coming off turn 4 for his 12th career win, Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Chevy American Revolution 400.
There he goes. Like you mentioned, he got his second career win here. It was about 5 years ago he got his first top 10 finish in Nextel Cup.
Listen to that engine. Holy cow.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. window net down, salutes the crowd.
And the celebration has started. We are already drenched in beer. There he goes. Now, it's a great crew that can catch a driver diving like that. Junior, how are you so fast on old tires at the end of that race?
Just had a good car. Tony Jr. had a great long run set up in the car. And it turned and didn't get tight. And I was real loose on new tires, so that was a good call there. Stay out.
Now, Tony Jr. just told me this is the same car that you ran in Las Vegas. Remember that. Slow, so slow you had to come back in the garage to get it squared away. How is it so fast tonight?
We really like this place. We won 5 or 6 races here, so just a good setup, good car. We call it Aubrey James because it's number 10. Like in stroke race, a lot of people know what I'm talking about. It's a good car, just good racetrack, new pavement, like it. We run up top, he's great.
And a great driver and a big night, Chris Myers.
All right, thanks. And we're back. Did this happen the last time Junior won a race?
I'll tell you right now.
Well, we can't try, but
you know what? It's fun to win. It really is, but
you don't have any,
how about the way these guys did it tonight, Chris?
I mean, let's talk about. We just heard from.
After Richmond, he goes to Charlotte to finish 6th in the 600. Then we go to Dover, where he's trapped a lap down with a lot of other drivers, and a big crash happens in front of the field. Many of the leaders taken out, many lap cars taken out as a caution had come out during green flag pit cycles. Cars had fallen a lap down, and many of the leaders were junk and all that, but Dale Jr. does escape this crash. He's just behind right there. Waltrip and the 23 Blaney makes some contact. Blaney goes spinning sideways to see Kenseth, and then here comes Dale Jr. into the screen, drives on the apron to get by, and so many cars spin behind him, and a lot of leaders spin as well, and this allows Dale Jr. to end up finishing in the 3rd position. Decent then it keeps in the points lead. He goes to Pocono, finishes inside the top 10 as well, keeps the points lead. Then we go to Sonoma, where it's a rough race. It's a rough racetrack for Dale Earnhardt Jr. As early on he spins it around. We're not even 10 laps in the race. He spins the car around. Where you can see he's bound with Robbie Gordon. So as they come up the hill, their Jr. right on the bumper of Gordon, now looking low. As they come now down the hill, Jr. right on the bumper of the 31. And right here as they go through turn number 4. Junior's going to jump that right there, get a little sideways, and around he goes, can't control the car, spins it around, and makes some slight contact with the inside wall there. You'll see her here from the onboard of the 8 car, looking back on the 48. There, jumps over the curb, gets a little sideways, and spins it around. But he does end up leading some laps in this race due to pit strategy.
So here's Stewart in. He'll surrender the lead to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who picks up the 5 bonus points for leading a lap.
So I mentioned 5 bonus points, and obviously very crucial to see on board with that 8 car. So he's just trying to get out there now and just lead some laps, get away, stay on their pit strategy, see what they can do. He does end up, after all that happens, you'll see what happens more, ends up finishing 11th in the race. It does drop him to 2nd in points, or it keeps him 2nd in points, as Michigan he had a pretty mediocre day, 21st, but it keeps him 2nd in points. Wasn't too bad, but right there, he spins around again. So we're about halfway through the race, and Dale Jr. goes for his 2nd spin, this time in turn number 7. So he just spun turn 4 at the beginning of the race, and now here in turn 7, he spins it around. So once again, right there, you can see some contact made behind him, and then he just gets looped around. Once again, though, ends up in the 11th position. So not too bad, spinning twice with all that. Pit strategy, of course, does get him up there, but once again, a decent day for Dale Jr., especially at Sonoma, one of his worst racetracks. He only has, what, 2 top 10s, 3 top 10s there throughout his whole career, and they just happened later in his career, 2014, 2015, and 2017. So I'm sure he at this point in his career, he will have taken 11th at Sonoma any time of the day. Right here, you can see battle with Ken Schrader as they went down to the corner, just some contact from behind right here. So he's just, he didn't really do anything, he just got hit right there, spins the car around. Luckily, no one else hits him, though, and he's able to continue on going. Then the Pepsi 400, Dale Jr. Michael Waltrip are 1-2, and Dale Jr. wants to lead this race. He's pushing Waltrip down the backstretch, literally pushing the rear end of Waltrip's car up off the ground, as Jr. then gets Waltrip sideways, sends him off into turn number 3 faster than he should be going. Jr. now going to try and move to the inside Waltrip to grab the race lead, and he does in 3 and 4. But my gosh, what a big push he puts on Waltrip there. So Jr. leads 23 laps in this Pepsi 400, but he does not end up winning the race. See, the restrictor plate, Masteries finished 1st and 2nd, won the Daytona 500, ended up 2nd at Talladega in a photo finish practically. And now here at Daytona, though, his car not where he needs to be. The handling has gone away, but right there you can see the 2 DI cars pull away early on the race, but later on the race their cars not as great as the Hendrick cars that run up front. But then not all is safe for Dale Jr. On pit road, he's leaving the pits. Vickers and Gordon do as well, and Jr. gets forced into the grass. It had been raining there. Now he's in the water. He's in the mud. He's just trying to keep the car going now, not get stalled down in the grass. Right there, smoke coming out, all the water. As Jr. tries to get back onto the pavement, he does, but the car obviously all wet now. The tires all wet. He has to come back down pit road, get some more tires on it, and make sure everything is all right, because of course a lot, in that car, radio and all that could get wet, could impact the motor as well. Right there, you can see forced off by Vickers and Gordon. Into the grass he goes, and just plowing through it, trying to just stay going so he doesn't get stuck in the mud and have to get a push out, maybe fall down a lap. Right there you can see how how wild it was for Dale Jr. even on pit road. Another look at as Jeff Gordon really leaves wide, out of his pit stall, and just forces Vickers into Jr. there, and Jr. riding in the mud. Here's a better view of it right there. Gordon there as he's about to leave. Jr. leaves right there. Here comes Gordon. Now he takes a wide exit, pushes Vickers into Jr. and Jr. avoiding that. Instead of slamming on the brakes, just goes into the grass, and obviously very, very wet out there, and just a tough break for the 8 car and the 18. They fall back, but they do work their way back up inside the top 5. They do have a shot at the end at the victory, but he has to get by the 200 Motorsports cars of Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Obviously going to be very hard as those two are lined up. Right there, you can see Jr. a little tight through the corners, and it's just not working for him. He's going to try and, right here, lay back to Kurt Busch, trying to get a push from the 97. So as he comes down the backstretch, right there, 97, pushing the 8, down the backstretch. Jr.'s trying to get a run onto the 48 and the 24, but that car is just not where he needs it to be. Obviously, the push is going to make the car even tighter. So as it goes up the racetrack right there, trying to make sure that that tightness can try and get fixed, but you can see how tight that car looks. As they come off of 4, Jeff Gordon sees the white flag, his teammate Jimmy Johnson behind, and Dale Jr. Kurt Busch trying to run them down. So right there, they take the white flag. Gordon leading Johnson 2nd, and Dale Jr. getting a run right here as Johnson pulls low. Jr. gets a great run as they approach turn number 1. He can't do anything with it, though. He stays in line behind Jimmy Johnson for now. So as they go through 1 and 2, Jr. once again, he's right there in the middle of the corner. He gets very tight, has to back off the gas as they come off of turn number 2 down that backstretch. No real help for Dale Jr. He's going to try and get one last push from Kurt Busch up to Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. Not much going to happen though. Right there, you can see Johnson trying to make a move on his teammate. So as they go off into turn number 3, Jr. with the run, trying to get to the back of the 48 and the 24. Obviously not going to work out. As they go through 3 and 4, Gordon gonna win the race. Teammate Jimmy Johnson gonna end up right behind him in second, and Dale Jr. gonna come home an impressive top 3, but once again not where he would have wanted to be at Daytona, obviously winning the 500 earlier in the season.
You almost won it. What would it have taken?
Newer tires, maybe. I don't know. My car was plowing. It's good to be out front and clean air. When you get back there, these cars ain't downforce cars, and my car just wouldn't turn. I was trying to get to the top, but nobody could run up there. You get behind there, they just get behind me and push. So, those guys at Hendricks, they've done their homework. I got to give them credit. They outran us today. We were terrible on pit road. We got to get better on our pit stops. There were a lot of things that went wrong for us today. I'm real happy to finish third, but got to give credit to the Hendricks guys. They come out here and whooped us off.
Good job by you, though. Let's go to Steve.
Now we move on to a Chicagoland race, which is just a no-good race for Dale Jr. Early on, he misses pit road, so he has to abandon that, lose a ton of time, and then on restart, Stewart wrecks Kane. Around they go from the middle of the field, and Dale Jr. is collected in the Budweiser 8 car. He gets some damage, and this is just a horrible race for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his team. They qualified 25th, and they're going to end up 22nd. Just not a good day at all for the 8, and of course, missing pit road, and now gets the damage from this crash. So their Stewart gets a great restart behind Kane, pushes Kane into the wall hard, and then just collects most of the field. Right here, as cars come on in, Jr. gets hit from behind, so he had maybe slowed it down trying to miss it. So he got hit from behind, some damage right there to the passenger side door. But some hard damage for Jr. and so many other cars involved. Lucky to end up inside the top 25 after all that happened there. He does end up 22nd, as I mentioned. Does keep him second in the points. Obviously, he wants to be up as the points leader at the end of Richmond. Right here, you can see from his onboard. He's down low. And right there, the crash happens in front of him. Cars go everywhere, and he just gets clipped from behind. The Cup Series heads into an off weekend, but it's anything but silent for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his team as Speed News Special Report breaks in.
Hello, everyone. We apologize for the introduction or the interruption to our programming. I'm Bob Varsha in our Speed Channel studios in Charlotte, North Carolina, with a live news update. NASCAR star Dale Earnhardt Jr. suffered what we are told are minor injuries in a frightening crash and fire this morning during practice for today's American Le Mans Series Grand Prix of Sonoma at Infineon Raceway in Sonoma, California. Earnhardt was scheduled to drive in a single appearance in the Sports Car Series on this off weekend on the NASCAR Nextel Cup schedule, sharing a GTS Class factory Corvette with road racing veteran Boris Said. Now, we do have pictures from Sonoma. Second yellow car in line disappearing behind the wall. Earnhardt apparently lost traction and spun hard into the concrete with the back of the car first. As it came to a stop on track, it burst into flames. Apparently, the fuel cell or the connectors to that cell were compromised. You see a large amount of fuel on the ground. From on board the car, here's the impact. You'll also see a shot from inside the car as Earnhardt was apparently dazed in the impact. And although it's rather frightening to look at, you'll see that he immediately started to get himself out of the car as the flagging crews brought the session to a halt and got out the fire extinguishers. Now, keep in mind, this is not a full-bodied car like the Nextel Cup car he's used to driving in NASCAR. These factory Corvettes use a lot of exotic materials, including carbon fiber, Kevlar, fiberglass, and so forth. There is Earnhardt being attended to by the fire crews at the back of the truck. He appeared to be dazed, and it was decided to put him on a stretcher and airlift him to the University Hospital at the University of California at Davis. There you see what the fire did to the car, apparently totally destroyed. Although Earnhardt was able to speak to the rescuers at the scene, he was put on a stretcher, loaded in an ambulance, and taken to the helipad at Infineon Raceway. There you see him being stabilized on the stretcher and moving around. He was put on the helicopter, taken to Davis, where it was reported that he suffered a minor injury to his knee and some minor burns. That's our latest information from an American Le Mans Series spokesperson. There you see the helicopter leaving the racetrack.
Junior talked about the crash there with 60 Minutes. He said that the temperature went from 115 degrees to 750 degrees, and then the sensor burned out, so it was probably a lot hotter. It took him 14 seconds to get second-degree burns on the chin, neck, and legs, saying he could die. This could be how it would go. It really would suck. Stewart was even spooked about it. As right here you can see, here's a picture after he climbs out of the car, laying on the ground. Obviously, it took him a good bit to climb out. Of course, he used to climb out of NASCAR. He climbs out through the window. He could have just tried to open the door and say he climbs out through the door. The door collapsed on him, which is why he fell down. And then right here, he does say some stuff about how his father could have had something to do with it. He said he didn't really know what happened from getting out to unbuckling the car, getting on the ground. In the infield care center, he was there grabbing his PR guy by the collar. Who got me out of the car? Tell me who got me out of the car. He said, no one got you out of the car. He's like, that's weird. You know, I swore someone grabbed me out of that car. And at New Hampshire, they obviously have to make a substitution, but Junior does race for the first stint of the race.
Brenda wrapped as Burns. Junior just arrived at driver intros. First off, Dale, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. We've been really doing the best we can to take care of everything every day and just watch after the best you can. And it hurts, but it could be a whole lot worse.
You're going to start the number 8 car today. How long will you be able to drive?
I'll be able to go to the caution, the first caution, and you know, we don't want to lose a lot of laps on the track, and want to get Martin in the car as soon as we can too, because he's been really good this weekend, and he's got a shot with a race-winning car, and we want to get him in there as soon as we can, because then, you know, that puts us right back in the back of the pack again. So we want to do that as soon as we can, but hope that first caution will come kind of early for us.
Your mom, Brenda, has played a big role this weekend.
Yeah, she's stepped up to the plate. Every time you know, she's just like every other mother out there. Every time I've been sick or anything, she's been right there. But she just, you know, we got to wrap these wounds every day, and she's took some of the toughest criticism that I could dish out, and some of the most vocal language I've ever spit out of my mouth before, and took it in stride. And she's been there every minute. She's helped me out get through this weekend.
Well, trying to make the best of a bad situation, he's called on not only his friend, but the young man who's the points leader in NASCAR Busch Series, who drives his Chance 2 car.
50 laps into the race, no yellow has come out yet, and Ryan Newman, the race leader, has come up onto Dale Earnhardt Jr. start at the rear of the field, has only climbed his way up to 30th. Dale Jr. now battling Jimmy Spencer for 29th. Right there you see Jr. trying to stay in the lead lap as best as he can. He wants to stay in the lead lap and hope for a caution to come out so that they can make that driver change a lot easier. Of course, if you fall a lap down, you're going to be behind all race. He wants to stay on this lead lap. Right here you see he's sideways off the course, still trying to hold off Newman. He's doing a great job as of now. 54 laps into the race. No caution yet. Dale Jr. still in the race car. Obviously burns his neck, chin, his legs. You know, he burns in a lot of places. Still trying to drive that car to the best of his ability. Trying to stay on the lead lap to get a caution flag to get Martin Truex Jr. in the race car. So they're going to turn number 3, Newman, right up onto Dale Earnhardt Jr. Still trying to get by him to put Jr. lap down. Obviously, this holding up Newman has allowed Michael Waltrip and some of the others, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, to close on in. But Jr. still staying ahead of the 12 for now. Sideways off the course, still trying to fight to stay in front of Ryan Newman. Trying to hope for a yellow to come out. No yellows come out yet. Still waiting. Trying to get that driver substitution in under the first caution flag. Wanting to do that before maybe they have to make a pit stop before they go a lap down. Newman with a great run. Jr. right there drives to the inside, turns 3 and 4. Jr. trying to block him off right there. Doing a great job forcing Newman down low. Jr. gets clear again as they come off turn number 4. Right there you see Newman with a great run though through the middle. 3 and 4 pulls up beside Jr. down the front stretch and off into turn number 1. Jr.'s going to have to give this position up or fight hard in the outside lane. Jr. on the outside right there falls behind Ryan Newman. So the 8 car falls a lap down here at New Hampshire. So now they're going to have to hope for a caution flag while they are in the lucky dog position. So as they come down the backstretch now, Waltrip 2nd place. Going to get by Dale Jr. They go to commercial break, they come back, and Ricky Craven's hit the wall. The yellow flag comes out. Craven was running in the 11th position, but the caution comes out. That saves Dale Earnhardt Jr. because he was the first car 1 lap down. He'll get the lucky dog, and they'll be back on the lead lap, and they can make the driver change now with Martin Truex Jr. Here's the coverage of that driver change from NBC.
So the lucky dog will be.
First, we give up the lucky dog, don't we?
Yes, sir, Junior. You are a lucky dog today.
Until we figure out what's going on, we'll be fine. Just kind of get caught up here and let's see what happens.
And what they're referring to, if you're new to NASCAR.
Wow, center off. It's like the fins right rear up off. That way, it's got, I don't know, it just don't, it's loose in, it won't turn in the middle, it won't roll through the center. If it rolls through the center, don't turn off. Not enough gear.
When NASCAR ended the practice of racing back to the caution, they put in a rule to allow the first car not on the lead lap at a caution flag to get back around the pace car and basically make up the lap. So Junior is in that position.
If you put it on the left, on that flat part, getting in and coming off, it gets loose off. If you put it on the flat, put the left foot down there, it gets loose out against the wall, but it pushes all the way to the center, all the way off.
Hey guys, don't worry about it. That's we're gonna come in, Dale Jr. Don't come in first time by. Wait second time by. We're gonna get you out, then we're gonna come in and do our tires. Clark.
Cannot gas it after that.
Fine, Clark, get Dale Jr. out. Y'all have the can. Bill, you're doing it. Where's Craig? Craig, your catch can. Just do the normal deal we've been doing all week.
All right. Remember, they said you got to take tires your first time in. You can't take them after that, or that's fuel, sorry.
Well, they've got a lot of officials down there at that 8 pit, don't they, to make sure they do everything right?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has just been waved around the pace car, so he'll now come back onto the lead lap, then come around and make his pit stop.
And now he'll probably try to get those belts loose.
Where's that pace car at?
Get everything unplugged.
Go ahead and catch up, Junior.
Before he stops.
Safety truck up there, watch him.
Get all you can there, Dale Jr., because I got to have all that time.
So you see him right there? He's loosening the belts up. Okay, now that helps when the next guy gets in. Those belts, if they're tight when the next guy gets in, it's really hard to get them buckled. Now we'll probably unlatch it before he gets stopped as well. Need to unplug everything, get everything he can attached to you so you can get out quick. Don't forget, he's sore, so he's not going to be getting out too fast.
He might need to make another lap because, all right, here he comes.
If he makes another lap, then they can't add fuel to the car, so he's got to come in here, Benny.
Come on, you're 10 away here, DJ, right in front of the 41. Come on in here. Come on, right here.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Here they go. The three guys going in the car. On the other side, Jay Guarneri hopped in through the window. B. Hoover will jump in and help Martin Truex jump in. But Big Jeff Clark is now helping Junior out of the car. He's the gas man, helps Junior get out. Gas man for the team. Bill Snyder will fuel the car. You heard him discussing the understanding of the lucky dog rule. They must fuel now because they can't come in later and do it. Now Truex is in the car. They will try to buckle him in. Again, the team helping him. And Martin trying to do what he can, but Guarneri on the other side doing most of the buckling. Window net and belts have to be tightened, or the NASCAR officials look at him looking in the car, making sure that he is safe to re-enter the speedway. They say that he is, they don't stand before him, and he leaves. They beat the pace car out.
Man, the crowd is loving all this drama on pit road with a driver change.
So,
now if he got everything attached, he'll stay out, but if he needs to come in, he's got some time. Make sure everything is connected, especially the radio.
Obviously, Junior sore after getting out of the car. This driver change results in a 31st place finish as Truex does get involved in an accident later on in the race. But then the next race at Pocono, Junior says he plans to go the full distance in the race car.
Still recovering from second-degree burns he received in a sports car race still 2 weeks ago. Junior got out at lap 61 last week. When are you going to get out this week?
I'm going to try to go the whole race, and I got John Andretti who's sitting in the pits ready to go whenever I need, if I need to get out. But the car's been pretty good this weekend. We didn't get any practice yesterday, so we kind of guessed on a few things, but I think we're going to be all right.
All right, in his 10th Pocono start, he goes for his first win.
So Junior getting ready to get out. You see he's got the gloves off. He's got his hands down where the release for the seatbelt is.
We should have time, but we know where the pace car is first.
See him loosening up the shoulder belt. Straps.
And getting ready to exit.
And forward, just tell Shannon to chill out there, Troy. Wait till I holler and hit him, and then y'all go.
McMurray's going to pick up a penalty from his pit stop because a tire was left in the outside half of the pit box when the car left, so he's going to have to go to the end of the line.
I wonder if they have to use a seat insert.
Yes, they do.
With John.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the thing sitting on top of the pit box.
The seat insert is, well, obviously Dale Jr. is taller than John Andretti, so they make these inserts that you put in the seat that actually get you closer to the steering wheel and closer to the pedals.
So yeah,
success last week at Loud, New Hampshire. Martin Truex Jr. was his relief driver, and they're almost identical in size. So this week had a much smaller driver. They needed the insert to slide down in the seat.
This kind of unexpected. I talked to Tony Newley this morning. He said that Junior expected to run the whole race.
You see that one of the crew guys holding the insert right there.
And they've got much more time here this weekend to make the driver change than they did at New Hampshire last weekend.
Yeah, Jake Guarneri went in the right side. B. Hoover went in the left side and actually put the insert in. John Andretti came to the shop on Tuesday, made that insert, molded it to Junior's seat. You see Andretti climbing in the race car right now. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has come back beneath the tent over here to get some shade. He said he felt like he was hurting the race team. His left leg was starting to go numb. That's where the most damage is from the fire that he suffered 2 weeks ago. And he felt like he just couldn't feel the brake pedal, so maybe he was hurting the way the car was performing, and the car was not performing that well. Expect these guys to maybe experiment a little bit for the rest of this race. Use this as a test for Indianapolis, because remember, they did not test Indianapolis as a driver change approaches 50 seconds now. You see, remember last week they had to do this very quickly, as you guys talked about. A lot of time here at Pocono, very long caution laps as they will try to beat the pace car out.
I think they'll make plenty of time. The pace car is only approaching turn 2, almost a half a lap away, so they've got plenty of time to get John Andretti securely in there and be all ready to go.
And I don't know about so much as, I mean, obviously it'll help him test-wise for Indianapolis, but John gets around this place pretty good.
And folks, right there is one sad young man. I mean, after the incident in Finion Raceway when he was burned in the Corvette, you know, we all said, and he said, yeah, he'd like to do it again and what have you. But now, 2 weeks into it, having to get out of his race car, he's probably having some second thoughts about it.
So as we saw, obviously Dale Jr. couldn't bear being in the car any longer. As he looks at the car as it leaves, John Andretti does get into the race car as Andretti puts up a 25th place finisher. The 8 team drops them now to 3rd in points, so they're starting to slide here later on in the season. Still 3rd in points though, but they want to get every point they can towards this championship. Obviously Junior very upset having to get out of the car for the 2nd week in a row. But we head to the Brickyard where Junior in the car, healthy to race, and he's going to stay in for the full race right there. You can see he's trying to make a pass on Casey Mears, and Mears shuts the door on him. Junior makes contact with the 41 sideways for Mears, so as they come down the front stretch, they're side by side, and here come cars with huge runs. The 0 car, the 24 car, getting huge runs down the front stretch right there. You can see the 0 leads at the stripe. The 8 now, the 24 going on by the 8. Now Gordon drives it hard to the inside, trying to get by Junior, then slides up, getting a little loose right there. Junior drives back to the inside of Gordon. So this was a great race for the 8 team, a great race to get back on track. They ran top 10 pretty much all day long. They had a top 10 car, and it looked like they were going to finish there on the final restart. So right there you can see we're on lap number 10. We'll skip ahead now until really late in the race. The final restart of the race with 2 laps to go. Dale Jr. in 6th, now going for 5th on Casey Kane, already driving to the inside into turn 1. He wants to get top 5 for this team, trying to regain lost ground in the points. So he's side by side with Kane as they come off turn number 1. Now into turn 2, he's still side by side with the 9. But he gets a little loose right there, gets a little tight as well, and now has to lift as they come down the backstretch. Stewart has a run. Where's Junior go? All the way to the grass, blocks Stewart all the way down to the white line, comes back up in line. No one with the run there. Junior stays in line in the 6th position now, so trying to stay in the 6th position. Meanwhile, Jeff Gore and Dale Jarrett lead 1-2. So as they go through 3, Junior still holding on in the 6th position. Looks like he can finish there. He just has to make around 1 more lap. It'll be a nice comeback for Dale Jr. after having to step out of the car for a few races there at New Hampshire and Pocono. So to come down the front stretch, the white flag for Jeff Gore. He's pulled away. Dale Jr. still seated in the 6th position as of now. Right there, you can see some smoke back there. Off into turn 1, you see the sparks there underneath the 8 car. A flat tire as he falls back right there. You can see on the outside falling back. A flat tire for the 8 relegates him to a poor finish at Indianapolis. NBC doesn't really notice it at first. They do mention, though, what happened later on after the race.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. also had problems on the last lap, along with Mark Martin. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 27th, Mark Martin 25th. Both ended up with flat tires on that last 2 laps and ground around across the checkered flag.
27th not what they want, but they come to Watkins Glen, get a 5th place finish, a good car, and some great strategy got them up there at the end, as Junior states.
Matt, with Dale Earnhardt Jr. now a 5th place finish, they're never easy here, are they, Junior?
No, not today. The car was real good at the start of the race, and I asked for a little more than I handle on some adjustments, and the car got away from us a little. We kind of got behind them. Hey, Bob, we worked hard. We didn't really get it on the racetrack. We got it on pit road. We had a great pit strategy, and Tony Jr. did some great calls and got me out there. And just tried to dig and keep what we could keep and do what we could do, and we gained some ground on the guys in front of us in the points. So that's a good day.
Takes a complete combination, and they did it today.
After a poor race at Michigan, he ends up racing in the Busch race at Bristol. He comes down to 2 to go. Restart. Dale Jr. leads Matt Kenseth. He gets away. Now we're showing this race because it is very significant in the history of these night races at Bristol. So as we go through 3 and 4, Dale Jr. leads. He comes to see the white flag, trying to win another Busch race in 2004. So he gets the white flag. Matt Kenseth right behind second. So it's going to be Dale Jr. and Matt Kenseth to settle it at Bristol. Kenseth with a great run as they come off turn number 2. He's going to try and set off into turn 3, but Jr. also sends it in. Kenseth can't get any closer than it is, and Dale Jr. wins the Busch race at Bristol. But then in the Cup race, he has to start 30th if he wants to come up to the front to challenge for the win. Right there you can see on the restart, Dale Jr. in second using some strategy to get up to the front. He did not come down pit road. He only had about 12 laps on the tires. So he came down earlier under the first caution of the night.
Dale Jr. second, Bobby Labonte third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, Kenny Wallace fifth, Scott Riggs sixth. None of those drivers pitted under this yellow.
So right there you can see later on in the run, Dale Jr. Rusty Wallace. They're right now 1-2, still on the back bumper for Dale Earnhardt Jr. As it goes through 3 and 4, great run for the 8, starting 30th, but it's definitely not a 30th place car. It's a car that can win the race. Dale Jr. driving it hard on Rusty Wallace as they go through 1 and 2. And Dale Jr. easily clears the 2 car to get out to the race lead early on here at Bristol from the 30th starting position. Only took him 64 laps to get up to the race lead using that strategy, as you mentioned, get up front. That's really what helps him get up to the front and ultimately win the race. Later on, though, he still has to pass some cars. Jeff Burton leads. We're under 100 laps to go, but Dale Jr. is hot on Burton's tail, moves to the inside right there, a little contact with a 30 car, still contact sideways for Jeff Burton. As they go into turn number 3, Dale Earnhardt Jr. clears Jeff Burton to get out front at Bristol once again in the night race, the Sharpie 500. Dale Jr. leads almost 300 laps, 295 of 500 laps to get to victory lane in the Bristol night race. A dominating performance for the 8 car. He had such a great race car, and he laps, I think, up to 6th place. I believe only 6 cars finish on the lead up in this race. A very interesting race, went caution-free there at the end of the race. So right here with 4 to go, it's right there. Jr. still leading in lap traffic. Now he comes to 3 to go. Obviously the crowd on their feet, but trying to come back from those burns. He's doing a great job right now, leading the race, coming to the finish line.
Coming around to 2 to go for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He will have led 294 laps tonight of the 500. His father won here 9 times. He's trying for his first.
And what he does not want to see is
white flag this time by.
A caution flag. Let me get that white flag, he said. Please let me get that white flag.
And here it is, final lap for Dale Earnhardt Jr. 160,000 here at Bristol on their feet. Heavily partisan crowd at a place where his father had so much success. He won the Daytona 500 earlier this year. He'll add another of NASCAR's majors to his resume tonight as Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Sharpie 500 at Bristol.
Hey! That's awesome! Good job, Yuri! Hell yeah!
I'll tell you, this place is it is a special win for these guys. This is a tough place to win a race.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., the first ever driver to sweep a weekend here at Bristol. The Busch Series race and the Cup race in the same weekend. I know that sounds hard to believe, but that's the fact. He's trying to do his donuts, and other guys are trying to get back to the garage area. There you go. Now the track's yours, Junior.
That's why you make the bumper strong, right there.
Marty?
May have been the first time someone's ever done it here at Bristol, but the 3rd time Dale Earnhardt Jr. has ever done it in his career. That's a very interesting burnout, isn't it? Tony Eury Sr., that reminded me a lot of his dad. Did it remind you of him?
Yeah, he loves this place. This place in Richmond, he loves it. And, you know, this whole team loves this place. Where could you go race in front of this many people, you know, and they all, looks like the whole stands are red up there, so a lot of Budweiser stuff. But, you know, we've lost this race twice, and threw it away a couple times ourselves, loose wheels and stuff like that. So we're just glad to bring her home tonight. That Budweiser Chevy's been awesome all night long, and we needed this because the last 2 months, man, we've been awful, and you know, we just we've had a slump going, and we got it straightened out tonight.
For this race team, an awesome night for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I mean, he's still got tires to roll on. But he burned them off by now.
That looks like a Chevy winning moment to me. Chevrolet congratulating Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the number 8 Monte Carlo on today's big win. No car has dominated Cup racing like the defending manufacturers champion, Chevrolet and American Revolution. Junior going to roll up onto the roof into victory lane. We'll talk with he and the other top finishers in the Sharpie 500. TNT returns to Thunder Valley.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in victory lane at Bristol, the same place his dad was 5 years ago tonight, the night where he said he just wanted to rattle Terry Labonte's cage. And that night it wasn't Earnhardt in victory lane, and tonight Dale Earnhardt Jr. is here after winning the night race at Bristol. And as is common with these guys, there's a big celebration. Did you bring enough towels for everybody? Because we're going to need them here, man.
I killed the motor way there.
Yeah, you had a little fire going on there too. Well, tell me about your night.
Oh man, I'm wore out. That's a long green flag run. I think it wore everybody out. First off, I want to say hey to my grandmother Martha, my uncle Randy. Had some heart surgery. He's getting better, and happy birthday again to my sister. All my family members, man, this is one of the biggest wins of my career.
Why is that?
It's Bristol, baby.
But it was a long road getting back to victory lane if you go between your last win and this one, Dale. You've had some tough days.
Yeah, you're going to have that, you know. You can't be number one all the time. That's what makes them sweeter, man. That's what makes the win sweeter. If they's handed to you, you know, wouldn't enjoy them as much. So, man, this is huge for me. This is awesome for my team. We really needed that. Hey, Teresa. I know she's enjoying this. This is awesome.
You've been coming here for a long time. It's special to get up here.
Yeah, I come to a lot of races here when my dad drove, and good man. I mean, he made this place magical to an Earnhardt fan, and me being one of them. So I might not have done it like he did it just now, but it was pretty damn close.
Well, he was in victory lane here 5 years ago tonight.
Yeah, we seem to keep on matching numbers somehow or another, but wherever he's at, he's laughing. He's got to be enjoying that butt kicking. That was a good race. I didn't think I had that good a car, really, but she was bad.
You going to celebrate? You going to celebrate?
Oh, man, we got Sunday off. We don't get that all the time. It's going to be awesome.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in victory lane at Bristol. I think he's happy.
You go from the highs of Bristol's to the lows of Fontana. Dale Earnhardt Jr., 32 laps to go, spins the car around. It had been a rough afternoon all night long for Dale Jr. Ends up with a spin here at Fontana. Caution comes out. He's trying to stand the lead lap. He gets the car stalled in the grass, gets it fired again, trying to get rolling. He does get lapped, and then he drives around the race leader to get his lap back. Gets in trouble with NASCAR there to get held a lap, and he falls a lap down. So obviously a bad night gone even worse for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the team. And it gets even worse, if you can believe it. About 25 laps, it gets even worse. So there you see on the outside, Jr. just loops the car a little bit too sideways there, gets the back end into the outside wall a little bit there. Luckily didn't get too much damage, but still pretty heavy damage to that 8 car. Slides down the racetrack now. Luckily doesn't get hit, but does get some front end damage as well when he gets off onto the apron, and of course in the grass as well. So Dale Jr., rough night at Fontana. Right there you can see from his onboard up high, and then just gets a little loose sideways, back end into the outside wall. Right there, spins down the racetrack, and luckily no one hits him as he spins down. But that gets even worse. Later on in the race, Ken Schrader blows an engine, and Dale Jr. collected with nowhere to go. That's 17 laps to go. The yellow comes out. Dale Jr.'s night is finally done at Fontana. He'll end up 34th, keeps him 3rd in the points, not what he needed towards his bid to be as high as he could. And points right there, see Jr. spinning in the oil of Ken Schrader. A little flare up there, and that has to be a little bit scary for Dale Jr. being involved in that. Obviously, that huge fire at Sonoma in the sports car. So you'll see from the onboard, you can actually see the flare up, and you know when he's backwards, you don't really know if it's your car, if it's the 49 car, whoever you're spinning with. Right there, you can see spins around, and right here he's backwards, and it'll start to flare up. Now, whose car is it? Obviously, it's Ken Schrader's, but obviously he doesn't know that. Luckily, though, gets the car going straight again, but obviously goes to the garage area, done for the night at Fontana. Then we go to Richmond, which is a crazy race for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Earlier in the race, he spun out Casey Kane, wrecked him, and then later on in the race, coming to halfway, lap cars make contact, and Dale Jr. is involved along with some other championship favorites. Jimmie Johnson trying to get to the points lead after this race to be the highest seeded chaser is involved in the crash. That's big for Dale Jr. because Dale Jr. is bound with Johnson as well. But Jr. also had damage from this crash. He gets going. Johnson's night is done though right there. You can see from the damage. Right here from the replay, you can see Jimmy Spencer up into Casey Mears, spins the 41 around in front of the field. Johnson and Jr. come on in, and right there you can see Jr. gets it hard up off the ground for the 8 car, into the grass. Johnson hits his teammate Vickers, and chaos starts on the front stretch. Here for another camera, you can see that right there, the contact made, Jr. into it, up in the air for him, the 09 spins him around. Jr. though does keep the car going even with the damage, trying to salvage any position they can. Right here you can see another look at it, as the 41 gets spun by the 4, and then Dale Jr. comes in, nowhere to go, spinning through the grass. But obviously Jimmie Johnson, more damage than the 8 car you'll see from Dale Jr.'s onboard right here. He's riding behind Jimmie Johnson, trying to get up there. They make some contact right there, Jr. up off the ground. But later in the race, through pit strategy, through all the right pit strategy, gets out to the front and leads some laps and has a shot to win.
And that puts Earnhardt Jr. at the point.
That moves Mark Martin to second, Mike Bliss to third, Carl Edwards to fourth, Mike Wallace.
So right there you can see later on the race now, we're under 100 laps to go. Kurt Busch leads the race. Dale Jr. is in second, trying to run down that 97. As they approach turn number 1, big for Dale Jr. if he gets as many points as he can. Obviously, he wants to beat Jimmie Johnson to be the second highest seeded chaser right there. You can see a little bit later on. Dale Jr. moves around Kurt Busch to get to the race lead at Richmond. Dale Jr. leading, looking for what would be his 5th win this season, and the Richmond sweep. He won earlier in the season at Richmond, looking for another Richmond victory, but they do have some fast cars. Kurt Busch fast, Jeremy Mayfield as well, also fast, but Dale Jr. is so great at Richmond. He knows how to get around this racetrack, looking for another victory. Later on the race, we'll see that Kurt Busch has some issues as he got back to the race lead. Dale Jr. flies right back around Kurt. So now Jr. back out front at Richmond. Obviously not going to end up in victory lane. Jeremy Mayfield a little bit too fast for the 8 car, but Dale Jr. does end up second on a night where it looked like he could have ended up 15th or 20th with the damage he sustained. Right here you can see off in turn number 1, Kurt Busch from the race lead, a little loose right there. Jr. right behind him in second, gonna move right down on the inside to get by. Has to be a little bit scary there for Dale Jr. What the hell happened there in front of me? How'd that 97 get loose? Is there oil on the track or something? No, it's just Kurt got really loose there, but Jr. ends up second at Richmond. Great momentum.
A hard-fought second-place finish. Looking at that mean-looking race car, you never would have thought that car would have had a chance to win, let alone finish second.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting race, but well, I think I just got the bumper put to me by the producers more in the post-race than I did out on the racetrack. But
we're saving the best for last.
I reckon so. Anyways, the car, I'm just kidding. The car was good. Got a couple wrecks out there, tore my car up.
Tore it up, the thing was up in the air.
Yeah, it was up in the air. I'd have liked to have had a few more scratches for all the work we had to do to get back to second, but we got lucky too on the pit stop strategy with the gas mileage and a bunch of guys having a pit. But luck counts in this sport, and we took advantage of it and come home second. So I'm real proud of my team.
Now looking at that race car, some of those dings and dents, you had a little contact with the 9 car, Casey Kane.
Oh yeah, I went in the corner to go around the outside of him, and he was slow and backing up and in the way, and we went in the corner and he didn't stay on the bottom. He just kind of backed into the headlight basically. But I didn't want to spin him out. I ain't got nothing against that boy. Me and him are pretty good friends. He come in the bus a couple times this weekend. We're friends, you know, so I ain't got no reason to spin him out. I don't spin people out for the hell of it, but I do it on purpose when I mean to. So, you know, hate to happen, but you know, he wasn't having too good a night anyway, so hopefully he ain't too mad at me.
Well, race 26 is in the books. Now we're starting the final 10. Let's look ahead at New Hampshire. Size up your final 10 races. Do you like the racetracks for Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
Well, you know, if you look back over the last several weeks, you know, we're hot and cold. We got to fix that. But like you noted earlier in a conversation with me, that we're really good the last third of the season over the last 4 years, and we're coming up on some tracks that I like, you know, and tracks we do well at. We got to get better at Kansas, Homestead. We're going to test hard there. We're going to test at Dover. We're slipping a little bit there. We're going to Martinsville to try to figure out how to finish first instead of third every time. And if we do that and get it right, we'll get it right and we'll win the championship.
Now, we talked back in Daytona, and you had a lot of goals for this race team. One was to chase and win the championship, but also you wanted to rack up a number of wins, and 5 was your total that you really wanted to get.
Yeah, I thought I was like, man, you know, something on my, you know, this little voice on my shoulder was saying, man, are you crazy, 5 wins? But we're close, you know, and
Matt had a terrible year one year, but won 5 races. And I said, Matt, man, you won 5 dang races. How can you be so miserable? And he says, just how you ran everywhere else, it really brings you down. And that's what this sport is. You know, you go to Bristol and you're high and mighty and you're kicking everybody's butt, and then you go to California and you get it handed to you. And it's tough, but this weekend was a good race weekend for us. We got some points and finished real good, finished off real good the regular season, so to speak. And if we get another win, I'll be pretty proud of my team. If we win the championship, I don't know if words will be to describe how I feel about it.
Now, when the season began, a lot of teams planned out their test for later in the season. How many do you have left and where?
We're going to Dover next Tuesday for a day, and we're going to Martinsville for a day. We're going to Kansas for 2 days, homestead for 2 days. So
I can't believe you remember where you're going.
Well, I mean, we're buckling down. I care, but you know, we just really want to finish off good. We want to go and work it out and figure out how to get fast at those places, and you know, we'll just we're going to work hard. You know, if we lose, it ain't by short effort. So we're going to give it all we got. And just like tonight, we fought all we could fight.
If you break his season down into thirds over the past 2 years, his best part, the final third, his average finish, 11th. Marty?
So Dale Jr. seeded third, 10 points back, was 1 point from being second. That is big, though. So we look at the inaugural Chase Field. That is big. Later in the season, we'll show you why after the chase.
He finishes third and looked like you were a little bit faster than Matt Kenseth at the end of the race. Just couldn't get to him.
Yeah, he was a little far ahead of me there to catch him, but he might have just been conservative on getting his second place finish. I mean, Kurt was way better than everybody else. Congratulations to him and his team. Just real happy with the run. It was a good car. We guessed really on the setup, and Tony Sr., Tony Jr. really did good, and I'm real proud of him.
And a good point state. That's top 3 finishes in the last 4 races for Junior, Matt.
We're going to look through every chase race in some form, but a 3rd place in New Hampshire gets him to the points lead. A 9th place at Dover drops him down to 3rd in points, 18 points back. So you can see right there, going to be very tight for the championship if you finish 9th and you fall 2 spots in points. Then the 3rd race of the chase, Talladega, Dale Jr.'s playground, as he pushes Kurt Busch to the race lead. As they come off turn number 4, you can see the crowd cheering there as they know Dale Jr. come up to the front. Jr. getting a big push from Michael Waltrip, but once again, those 2 teammates working together pretty well. So as they come through the tri-oval, Dale Jr. trying to get beside Kurt Busch to the outside. Busch leads the lap, but Jr. is there, entering turn number 1. He gets the side draft from the 97 right there, so they enter turn 1 and 2. And Dale Jr. trying to get on by. Elliott Sadler in the 38 moves up with Dale Jr. to move the 8 car to the top spot at Talladega. Once again, big to lead laps, because that's 5 bonus points towards the championship, and that's big there towards that championship. Obviously, every point you can get is going to be very big in this race for the championship. So Junior clears Elliott Sadler to 2nd now. Michael Waltrip does move into 3rd. So as they go through 3 and 4, Dale Jr. trying to get off of 4 through the tri-oval to lead the lap here at Talladega. It's going to be a pretty good day for Dale Jr. here in the EA Sports 500, leading laps. A very good race car. A car that is definitely capable of winning this race. So Dale Jr. leads lap number 4. We'll skip now really late in the race. 11 to go. Cars are going to have to come down pit road. Dale Jr., one of them at the front of the field, has to come down pit road. So right there you can see off of 4, he's going to get low, get slowed down, coming to pit road with 11 laps to go. Cars slowing down. Some cars miss pit road. As they miss pit road, it caused a crash. Dale Jr. and his teammate and others were on pit road at the time. As the yellow comes out, they're already on pit road. They're already committed. They can now do their scheduled service, get out ahead of the drivers who will now have to come down pit road under the caution flag. So right here, cars coming to their pit box. Excuse me. Kurt Busch and others take fuel only. An audible out of Tony Eury Jr., Dale Jr.'s crew chief, to take 2 right side tires as others take fuel only. Dale Jr. takes 2 tires. Waltrip gets away with fuel only. Jr. with 2 leaves, but he loses a ton of time. And my gosh, it's going to be a very interesting run to the finish. But how fast are decisions made at Talladega? Listen to the communication and all that happened as the caution comes out while they're on pit road. Listen to Tony Eury Jr. and the communication between spotter, driver, crew chief.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. currently scored back. Let's find him here in the 11th position. You think it's easy making calls on pit road? Listen to this exchange as the caution came out when Junior hit the pits.
Caution's out, caution's out. We're just gonna we're gonna go ahead and get our gas, ain't we, Tony? Hit forward, hit our gas, yes sir. Tires, guys, put 2 rights on it. Come on, get 2 rights on it. There you go, Hershey. 2 rights. Come on. Hey, there's Tony. Watch just off 2. We're good. good running here. Through right, boys. Through right, gas.
I think you have to adjust quick in this business. There you go.
And the guys are still spinning out there behind them, the 18 and the 40. So they made the adjustment on the fly to go with 2 right side tires.
Oh boy, we got a mix of cars up here now, and not a whole lot of time to get it done.
So Junior doesn't have much time to climb up through the rankings. He only has about 5 laps to get up to the front from about 11th spot. He already moves high on the cars in front of him. So as they go through 1 and 2, Junior already making moves, pushing cars in front of him, trying to get up to the front, trying to get clear, trying to move forward. He only has 5 laps to do it, but he has 2 fresh right side tires that could come in handy, maybe a little bit more handling there on the 8 car than some of the others. See cars jumping out of line there. Junior stays in line for now. Some big pushes there. Kurt Busch moves low, no help. But here comes Dale Jr. to save the day. Gets a huge run, moves to the inside, almost wrecking there. Moves behind Kurt Busch, but he has such a big run. He's pushing Kurt through 3 and 4. Actually, they're bumping Kurt as they come off of turn number 4. Dale Jr. hungry to win this race, hungry to get points. Right there, going to the middle lane now to the outside of Kurt Busch. Gets a huge run as he comes down the front stretch, already inside the top 5, or already inside the top 10, trying to get to the top 5. As they come down the front stretch, squeezing there, 3 wide. Cars going every which way, high, low. Brendan Gaughan shuffled now as Kevin Harvick gets to the race lead. But Dale Jr. is coming forward, 2 fresh right side tires, and the fastest car here at Talladega. He has 3.5 laps to get forward as they come down the backstretch. Gaughan abandoned to the bottom lane, no help. Dale Jr. getting a run there. Tony Stewart breaks low, 3 wide. He gets a huge run. Gets beside Kurt Busch, gets beside Brendan Gaughan. And now Dale Jr. gonna get clear. Brendan Gaughan moves down to the middle lane, then moves down in front of Tony Stewart. And once again, I mentioned, these two find each other at the plate tracks around this time of their careers, and they're once again nose to tail. Jr. trying to move forward with Tony Stewart as Jr. moves low for 4th. Moving forward, will let NBC, Bill Weber, and the others take it from here as Dale Jr. moves his way through the field at Talladega.
3 to go. Junior in 4th behind Harvick, Gordon, and Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, here comes Junior. He's got help.
Who's he got help from?
Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd, okay.
They squeeze to the high side. Now Harvick back down low. Gordon trying to stay on his bumper. Junior pushed by the 21 to 2nd. Now looks high on the 29 of Harvick.
Man, look at this 8 car go. Oh, someone in the wall up there.
With you. Keep coming.
The fans on their feet. Junior around the outside.
Harvick's not giving it up yet. Needs some help down there. Wow, Robbie Gordon to the outside of Ricky Rudd. Well, there's not too much room up there.
Where did he come from? He's right behind Junior.
And Junior let that one 2 to go.
Somebody's smoking back there.
Yeah, someone got in the wall up in 3 and 4 just a moment ago.
Left front tire, Robbie Gordon. Got a left front tire.
There's a smoker behind him, too.
Yes, there's 2 cars smoking that's made contact.
Marty on the 20.
Tony Stewart said earlier this week, somehow Dale Earnhardt Jr. and I always find each other on the racetrack. They found each other again. Remember, Tony said his car pushes better than it pulls. I think he'll ride right where he is.
Remember the Daytona 500. Stewart was Earnhardt's new best friend.
I think Tony wants to win this thing just as bad as anybody else, though.
Coming through the tri-oval, they will get the white flag this time.
There he goes. Tony Stewart taking a look at the bottom. He's got no help.
And he lost his spot. White flag is out. Last lap at Talladega. Dale Earnhardt Jr. pushed by the car his father used to drive, the 29 of Kevin Harvick. And the veteran Dale Jarrett behind him.
Harvick did all his work earlier on the bottom, Junior.
Oh,
trouble.
Jeff Gordon.
And there's the crowd.
Greg Biffle. Casey Kane.
Several cars involved.
But the caution's
no, still green. It's still green. Okay. They're still racing at Talladega.
Last lap.
They will come to the checkers this time by.
So there will not be a green-white checker. The white flag is in the air.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking for his 5th win at Talladega. Works his way back to the front. And Junior, where his father won 10 times.
Oh, we got a car sideways in the
Win number 5. The checker is out. And somebody upside down. Elliott Sadler.
Again.
Lands on his wheels.
Yeah, good save right there. You all right?
Sadler, who had that terrible tumble here a year ago, on on his roof at the finish.
Well, if they left this race 10 minutes early, they'd missed it. And these rescue workers, I hope these guys are paying attention. We have rescue workers on the backstretch attending to the wrecked cars there. Yep, everybody shut her down pretty slow.
Biffle is back there. Unofficially, Earnhardt Jr., Harvick, Jarrett, Brendan Gaughan, and Kurt Busch. Tony Stewart, Mears, Nemechek, Gordon, and Ward Burton.
He's opening a roof hatch. He's opening up the roof hatch.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. scores a victory at Talladega. So many drivers. Junior, so many drivers came in here just wanting to survive, but you wanted to use this as a stepping stone to the final 7 races, and you did so in pretty dominating fashion.
Man, I believe in this, man. That car was awesome. We come down pit road, and the yellow come out, and Tony Jr.'s like, two tires, and man, we just smoked them guys that was on them old tires, and the car just drove right around them in the corner. Great engine by DEI, Richie Gilmore, everybody back in the motor shop, the fabrication department, the body was awesome. I beat that front bumper all to hell today, and still there. Budweiser, Remington, all our sponsors. I mean, it's a good win for us, man. It's 5 this year. I just can't believe it.
And that was your goal going in, and you unofficially take over the championship point lead again.
Hell yeah, man. We just want to keep on doing good, man. One race at a time. We might just win it.
What does it mean to win here, not only once, but to win here 5 times?
Well, it don't mean shit right now. Daddy's done one here 10 times, so I got to do a little more, do more winning, but we're going to get there. And he was the master. I'm just following his tracks.
And he's following it very well, Bill.
Wait. What'd you say, Dale? Can you repeat that one more time for me, please, what you just said?
Well, it don't mean shit right now.
All right, how about one more time for me?
Well, it don't mean shit right now.
Yes. So Dale Jr. leaves Talladega with a 13-point advantage over Kurt Busch. However, the sad part is, heading into Kansas the next race, the big storyline isn't about Dale Jr.'s victory, it's about what was said in Victory Lane.
A week ago today at the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama, Dale Earnhardt Jr. drove to his 5th win of the season. But in his Victory Lane interview with Matt Yoakum, Earnhardt used an expletive. On Tuesday, NASCAR fined Earnhardt $10,000 and 25 points. Earnhardt is appealing the decision.
I don't think there was any question about what happened. I think it was very clear and matter of fact that here's what occurred, and NASCAR was responsible for reacting to it. And we reacted to an identical situation with an identical reaction, and so it was pretty cut and dry from our perspective.
Here is a look at the championship standings after the 25 points were deducted. Earnhardt was leading Kurt Busch by 13 points and now trails by 12. It's just 159 points from 1st to 9th. The maximum point gain possible in one race is 156. Beginning with this race, NBC Sports will institute a 5-second delay in our NASCAR coverage. Dick Ebersol, chairman of NBC Universal Sports and Olympics, expressed disappointment for viewers in having to do this, but the delay helps protect against anything inappropriate going out over the air. The hope had been that disciplinary action taken by NASCAR earlier this year would remedy the situation. Mr. Ebersol also pointed out that for more than 50 years, most major sporting events have aired live, and while broadcasting on a delay is extremely unfortunate, the conclusion is taking this step provides the additional safeguard needed in today's climate. Earnhardt comes in off the win at Talladega, chasing his 6th win of the season. For more on the Earnhardt story, here is Matt Yoakum.
Bill, Dale Earnhardt Jr. declined our invitation to speak this afternoon, but on Friday, following his qualifying run, he spoke at length with our Dave Burns, giving us his thoughts on both the infraction and the penalty.
I want to express firmly that I don't, I believe I expected to be penalized. I believe what I did wasn't right, wasn't correct, and was offensive, but I don't believe in taking points off the scoreboard. So I feel like that it's fair enough for me to appeal, and we'll see what the decision is with that. But aside from that, I mean, like I said, I mean, I don't disagree with the wrongness of it. Disagree with how the penalty was laid out. Again, I know it's consistent with what's happened in the past, and my opinion is if they don't change it now, change it in the future for the next guy, because points on the scoreboard belong on the scoreboard.
The appeal will be heard within the next 2 weeks. Now the team, they want to use this incident as a huge motivator in their bid for their first Nextel Cup championship.
So after 9th place at Kansas, instead of being 4 points behind Kurt Busch, he's 29 points back. That's, of course, before the appeal. Obviously, the appeal doesn't work. He still loses those 25 points. Then we head to Charlotte, where Jimmy Johnson dominates to win, but Dale Jr. does end up 3rd with a car that was fast. But once again, some engine issues relegate him.
You battled quite a bit tonight, but ended up 3rd. How's that feel?
That feels good. We battled hard. Had an exhaust pipe, the center section exhaust pipe blew out, and lost a lot of power down the straightaway. It was the best motor on the racetrack until that happened. Then it was about like everybody else. But
lost your radio too?
My radio went dead. We had a good night though. We raced hard. I kept on saying, I'm pushing, but don't loosen me up too much. And I just got to let them do what they got to do, and we'd have been right. We were good in the middle part of the race, running second to Casey. He broke, and I think we had the car to win at that point, but I wouldn't let him free the car up as the track got tighter, and I just got to let him do that. You know, we had to make some adjustments there at the end. We got lucky for that caution. We was not going to finish in the top 5, but great day from the pits. Had a good car and real happy.
No win yet at Charlotte, but 3rd place tonight. Bill?
So instead of controlling the points lead by 1 point, he's now 24 points behind Kurt Busch. And Martinsville comes around, and it's a no-good race for Dale Earnhardt Jr., a race to forget.
Rear plate in the right rear.
So Dale Jr. having issues all race long, and this just, you know, captivates. This just puts the exclamation point on a horrible, horrible day in Martinsville, Virginia for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his team. So having issues all around. He's been involved in crashes. He's gotten damaged, been bumped aside. He's been on pit road trying to repair, you know, trying to fix the handling on the car. And right here, some brake issues. They're going to look at the brakes right there. So they put tires on. They're going to put 4 tires on. You can see the damage to the car after all the incidents he's been involved in. Right there, they're looking at the brakes. It looks pretty good for now. He said the right rear felt locked up. They looked at it. They thought it was good. So they're going to send him right back out onto the racetrack. And they're just going to try and tell him to just, you know, ride around, do whatever he can. But once again, this really hurting in the points, falling positions, and being, you know, getting that 25-point penalty, not being in control of the championship lead. And right here, coming out of the pits, and maybe he didn't have the brake pedal he wanted, hits Dale Jarrett, and the 88 goes around, brings out the caution flag. So Dale Jr. involved in a lot here at Martinsville in such a short time. My gosh, what a horrible race for Dale Jr. And then he brings out another caution flag and hangs a left into the garage area. Dale Jr. now behind the wall with issues as he brings out a caution flag once again involved, and this time parts coming off his car. You can see he's leaking stuff right there, and right there, the pin comes off, the ringing pinion, and that's obviously not good. You need that, and it doesn't really sound great when it comes off either, but obviously that's going to hurt them big time. Now they're behind the wall. He needs to get pushed to his garage stall. They're going to try and work on it. They're going to try and repair everything he can. He doesn't have a drive line, drive shaft. Everything's going wrong in the 8 car. They're just going to try and repair everything they can, try and get that car back out, salvage any points they can. There's some parts laying on the track from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. So it's been a horrible race for Dale Jr., and NBC is actually going to show that a little bit later on, just how bad it's been for Dale Jr., but issues for one of our championship contenders trying to run down Kurt Busch and some of the others, and he has a ton of issues behind the wall, and that car is junk. Been involved in a lot here today.
Yeah, he did come apart.
Yes.
The drive shaft's on there somewhere flopping around. Not been too good a day for Junior. He gets knocked aside once, twice, 3 times.
And he's knocked somebody else aside.
Yeah, okay, finally he gets his turn.
Had to make the 5 pit stops under the 1 caution, trying to get the track bar adjusted.
Then he runs in the back of the 43 car. Then he hits the 88 car, I'm sorry. Spins him around, and finally the pinion breaks on the car.
It's unbelievable.
Somebody's lucky they didn't run into that.
Junior's difficult day continues. A spin in front of him in turn 2, and he's plowed into it. It was Kyle Petty who got sent around in a circle, and Junior hit him.
So Junior gets back out there and gets involved in a crash, and the no good, nothing. Just no good race for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Once again, more damage, all the damage to the front end of that car, and this relegates him to a 33rd place finish, drops him down to 3rd in the points and a good ways back. Still in contention though, there's still tons of race left, still a lot that can happen. But right there you can see into the pit stall, all the damage he has, and just a horrible race for Dale Jr. and the team. See all the damage he has there after being involved in the crash with Kyle Petty. Gonna relegate him back in points just a little bit, and obviously very heartbreaking. As Martinsville's a track they maybe had circled to get points. If they couldn't win, they would at least get a solid top 5 as they've been so strong here at Martinsville. But obviously handling issues, then issues basically everywhere else on the racetrack and everywhere else. Right there, you can see right there, as Kyle Petty gets spun around, Dale Jr. coming into it, Petty comes back up the racetrack and hits Jr. hard and gives Jr. a ton of damage to that race car. Right here, look at from Dale Jr.'s onboard as he comes into it. Right here, the 22 gets in the back of the 45, spins him around. Jr. comes to it, and right there, nails Petty hard. And after the race, they show the points. He is now 125 points back, as opposed to, without a penalty, being only 100 points back of Kurt Busch. But at Atlanta, there is a bright spot. Kurt Busch out of the race with issues in 42nd, and Jeff Gordon also with issues. There's only about 8 cars on the lead lap, and Jr. running in 4th with under 30 laps to go. This could be a huge points day for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Straight there as they run. Jr. is only 2 points behind Kurt Busch after being 125 back coming into the race. That is only 1 spot on the racetrack. So right there, you can see later on in the race now as Mark Martin battles for the race lead. Jr. is stalking back there. He's behind Mark Martin, Jimmy Johnson, Carl Edwards, and then there he is in 4th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. So right there, you can see Martin moved high by his teammate Greg Biffle. Biffle is a lap down. Edwards and Johnson come flying on by, and as these 3 battle, here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. into the mix, trying to get there and challenge and get every point he can, trying to get to the race victory, trying to sweep at Atlanta. He won earlier in the season in the Gordon Corral 500, and once again, the car is fast, and with only 8 cars on the lead lap and fellow championship contenders out of the race and towards the back of the field, this could be big for Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s chase. So as Mark Martin moves to the inside, Jimmy Johnson now for the race lead. Martin can't get done. Here comes Jr. on the bottom lane with a run from 4th position, trying to get beside Edwards. He does. Side by side for 3rd. As Mark Martin starts fading back in the 6th car, Jr. thinks he can get up to 2nd here, but some issues happen, a little bit of a misjudgment, and disaster.
He's trying to drive the car right now faster and harder than the tires will allow him to.
Look out! Trouble! Championship contender in trouble, crashing on the back straightaway.
No.
Believe this.
Is that contact with Edwards?
Contact with Carl Edwards, yeah.
Oh, man.
Another championship twist.
Oh, no.
It's unbelievable.
It is. I don't think I have to say a lot of damage to the 8 car, do I?
Kurt Busch might be the luckiest dog today.
Because all these other guys...
Yeah, all these other guys can take a shot at him today, are having troubles.
Marty?
He said this car is just killed. He said we are ruined. I don't know what we're going to do here, guys. A lot of damage to the 8 car. He's going to limp it to pit road. They are going to bring him to pit road and see how long they can survive, get as much damage as they can cleaned up, and keep him out there for these last few laps.
Boy, oh boy.
We could see from the replays, if Jr. tried to slide up just a little bit sooner, he would have been clear. If he was just a little bit more, risky there, if he was just a little bit more aggressive in coming up the racetrack, he would have been able to clear Edwards. Edwards may have bumped him in the back, but may have tried to do a crossover, but otherwise Jr. would not have been tapped right there. Obviously all on Jr.'s he pulled up, but right there you can see he was clear for a good bit, and then moves up just when he wasn't clear. Obviously the noses kick out in these cars a lot more than they do nowadays, and obviously that's what got Jr. If the noses didn't kick out, he may have been clear. But otherwise, into the wall, and will finish back-to-back 33rd place finishes, and a huge, huge blow to the championship for Dale Earnhardt Jr. It looked like he had a shot right here at Atlanta.
He sees that 6 car, and he sees that 6 car in trouble.
The disbelief in Tony Sr. as he knows that a race-winning car, a car that could have gained points, out. And now Dale Jr. 98 points back. He did gain some, but now 98 points back, 5th in points. He does an interview telling he just wanted to go for the win, was going for the win.
TJ, you came in running well in the championship. Tough way to end today, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're just trying to, race for the win there. I think I come up on Carl and turned myself into the inside fence there and tore my car up, but we had a good car. Kind of sucks to lose all them points, but it wasn't. I don't think it was Carl's fault. I came up on him, I think.
DJ, what does this do to your chances? Now, you had a chance to capitalize, but lost a big opportunity.
Well, I really ain't worried about it. I mean, we just, we wanted to win today, and that's what we was trying to do. So, I mean, we could have gained a lot of points, and it'd been nice, but it's hard to race like that, when my car's really good there at the end, and I had to get enough car to win, so I was trying to get up there and win it.
So with back-to-back 33rd place finishes and a 25-point penalty, all caused by Dale Earnhardt Jr., he wants some redemption at Phoenix. And early on in the race, after starting 14th, cuts into a 2-second lead from Ryan Newman due to lap traffic, and Jr. is hot on the tail of the 12 car, wanting to repay the favor to his crew after the issues at Atlanta with him spinning himself and the 25-point penalty at Talladega. He wants everything he can get as they come off of turn number 2. Dale Jr. clears Ryan Newman to get to the race lead, so Jr. leads here at Phoenix for the 2nd season in a row, going for a Phoenix victory. He won in 2003 at Phoenix. That was his 2nd win of the season. This time, Dale Jr. looking for 6th victory on the season, be the most of his career by a long shot. 2001 he won 3, would be the next highest at this point in his career. So as we go through 1 and 2 right there, you can see Jr. still also getting caught up in lap traffic, and Ryan Newman gets right to the back of Dale Jr. Obviously can't do anything with it. Jr. going to clear right there as they come down the backstretch. He's going to try and pull away from Ryan Newman now as they hit turn number 3. In this Phoenix race, Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads 118 laps of 315 to get himself back into championship contention after Phoenix. As he comes down the front stretch, Jr. still leading right there. You can see the positions and how much he's gained. But now we skip it to later in the race. Only 20 laps to go. Jeff Gordon leads on the restart. Casey Mears is running 2nd. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. runs 3rd. So Jr. back in 3rd with the best car out there. So he pushes Casey Mears clear of the lap traffic as they come down the backstretch. Jr. now 19 laps of racing to go. He's running 3rd with Casey Mears between Jr. and Gordon. But Mears has a pretty fast car as well. Right there you can see they make some contact. Just like Indianapolis earlier in the season, these two make contact. Jr. checks up to let Mears get back in line, get back going. So now they have 18 to go, but Gordon does get away a little bit. Mears fades back and Jr. fades back as well. So they're going to have to try and get back up to Jeff Gordon. As they go through 1 and 2, Jr. stays in line for now with the Mears, thinking Mears has a little bit faster car at this point in time. Maybe thinking Mears can just push me up there, I could just push Mears up there, get with him, and then try and pass Mears at the end instead of trying to pass Jeff Gordon. So as they go through 3 and 4, the huge pack of cars behind him, cars that took tires, are stuck back in that pack, as the cars that didn't take tires that stayed out there right now at the front pulling away. The 43 behind Jr. is a lap car, so he's not going to be doing much to play impact on how this race plays out. As they come down the back into turn number 3, still these front 3 single file. Mears looking for a way around Gordon, and Jr.'s trying to look for an opening to get some place, trying to get up forward. As they come off the corner, they only have 16 laps to go here at Phoenix. Casey Mears is all over Jeff Gordon, and right here through 1, I think that's a chance right there as Gordon goes up the racetrack. Mears drives to the bottom lane, but cannot complete the pass. Gordon gets back in line, and Dale Jr. may be a little bit tired of waiting around here as they come down the dog leg into turn number 3. Jr. with the run as they hit turn number 3, looking high there as they go through 3. Got to try and diamond the corners. He tries to get low as they come off the corner. Gets a great run off of 4. Gets beside Casey Mears down the front stretch side by side for a second. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to get by Casey Mears. The caution will come out right here, so they're side by side. Jr. scored 2nd at the scoring loop. So that's big for him on the restarts right there. They crash with the 42 of Jamie McMurray. And then that sets up another caution as Jr. moves around Jeff Gordon right here into turn number 3. He's trying to move around to the inside. He'll go. Dale Jr. clears Jeff Gordon easily for the race lead. as they're side by side as they come off, force some contact there. But once Junior clears, he starts to pull away, but then a caution comes out for Casey Mears, spinning with Robbie Gordon blowing up, sets up a red flag and a green-white checker. 2 laps to go, restart. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading as he pulls away from Jeff Gordon right there and the others behind. So Dale Jr. doing a pretty good job right here. Once again, going for his 6th victory in the season, which would be his 2nd in a row at Phoenix as well. He won in 2003, looking for 2 in a row at Phoenix. Obviously, Phoenix, one of his better tracks in the Cup Series as well. So Junior pulls away from the bow behind. The caution does come out, though, and sets up a very late restart right there. You can see the 41 will be the one that spins to bring out the caution. So then we have a green-white checker finish. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads Jeff Gordon and Ryan Newman and the others around as Harvick and Kane are behind 4th and 5th. But Junior pulls away from Gordon on the restart as Newman pressures Gordon down the dogleg. As we're coming through 3 and 4, we're coming to see the white flag. They're battling for a second behind Dale Jr. making contact. Junior pulls away easily, and that is what Dale Earnhardt Jr. wants to see in his mirrors. He pulls away to the white flag.
White flag, final lap at Phoenix.
And Junior's loving this. He's looking in the mirror going, whoopee.
Newman and Gordon for 2nd with the pack stacked up behind him while Junior gets away.
Wow, that's good stuff right there.
It's ever good stuff.
Newman was just sliding that car up off the corner, but 24 car looks like he's got enough. Keep 2nd. No, not that time.
After 2 straight 33rd place finishes, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s championship bid is back on track. He wins at Phoenix. Newman edges Gordon for 2nd. No cars dominated Cup racing like the defending manufacturers champion Chevrolet and American Revolution.
And the celebration is underway for the 2nd straight year here in Phoenix. Dale Earnhardt Jr. celebrates with his crew. Handshakes all around. One thing this team knows how to do is race. Another thing they know how to do is celebrate. We got a towel here. Let me take this. Here you go, man. You might need that. Hey, you really didn't need those tires you were talking about, did you?
Well, yeah, I do a lot of talking for no reason. If you ask Tony Jr., that's what he'll tell you.
Pretty much what Tony Sr. said after the race.
Yeah, I just get worried, man. I lose. I cannot control myself inside a race car, and I want tires, this, that, and the other, and I just didn't want to lose. That's the best. I told Tony Sr., I said, as far as covering the field, that's the best we ever did it. We've had good race cars and won races, but nobody could run with this car today, and I didn't want to lose this race.
Tell me about passing Gordon. You even remember it?
Yeah, I just got up underneath him and just gave some throttle. Went up underneath him. He was kind of hurting there. It looked like he was really hurting a little bit, but I got into Casey a little bit one time and let him get him straightened out. And I was like, go man, because he's a little faster. He's a little faster than me at one point. And I was waiting on him to get by to 24, and he never really did. So I got by him and. Oh, Gordon, man, he was a sitting duck. His car was terrible there at the end. He did a great job just to get what he got.
2 to go, Dale. Championship thoughts now?
No, we just win what we can win, and if we get that big trophy, we get it. If we don't, we'll get it next year. There's always another year, and this team don't quit. I'm proud of them. We had I cost us a lot of points last week, and I've been feeling bad about it all week. I really wanted to come back and do something for these guys today. They give me a great car. I could do my job really easy today.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
With his win at Phoenix, Dale Jr. moves closer to the points lead with 2 races left, 47 back. Without the penalty, he would only be 22 back, which is the sad state. He would be 2nd in points, only 22 back of Kurt Busch. But then we head to Darlington. The car not great for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and issues at the end. On a late race restart, starts to fade back there, slower towards the back of the field. Commentators wondering what's happening. Is right there you can see Junior slow down the front stretch with an apparent issue, but we got a report from the pits.
Battery's dead on the 8 car. He said battery is dead. They told him turn everything off that you can. Let's see if we can limp it home.
Oh man, now it might be down to 4.
So they're just trying to limp it home now, but 26 laps to go. This could be a lot of points lost, a lot of time lost, and possibly the championship gone down the window for Dale Earnhardt Jr., as he would be too far back if he were to finish where he was to even be remotely close. But with 23 to go, Harvick stalls on the racetrack, and we get a caution flag here at the end with Dale Earnhardt Jr. saved by the caution flag. Maybe the caution of the season for the 8 team, as now they can get a battery in the car and get it going.
Oh yeah, this may be the caution of the year, BP, for the 8 team. The voltmeter all the way to the left, Junior said, it's not reading anything at all. They're going to come down pit road, and they're going to make a smart move. They're going to change left side tires first. They'll quick disconnect the old battery, put the new battery in, then come down the second time and take right side the second time. They may wind up not even going down a lap on this caution, BP.
So you can see they're replacing the battery, getting that battery in the left rear wheel, but it does get them a few positions at the end, but he ultimately only ends up in the 11th position, just trying to minimize the points loss that he gets here from Darlington. Obviously very disappointed with the car.
What a struggle with this race car today. It just seemed like the chassis wasn't helping you out, but the team did a great job changing the battery at the end, and you finished 11th.
Yeah, we got lucky the caution come out to give us a chance to change that battery, but we was going to be in bad shape, but not a good car. You know, we've had better race cars here. We've had worse ones too. And it's not necessarily the team's fault. We as a group just, I can't really communicate the way I want to about this track and tell them exactly what I need. And the whole place just needs some new asphalt. And believe me, I'd pay it for myself. I'd buy the whole damn thing if I could. But anyways, good finish for us. Happy about Jimmy winning. Them guys, I've been on a tear, and that's been good to see. And it wasn't a great race. It wasn't a bad one. We just got a decent finish.
Dave?
So he leaves Darlington 4th in points, 72 back, or without 25-point penalty, 47 back, which would be a lot better than 72 back. But Homestead, obviously, not a great race for Dale Earnhardt Jr. at all whatsoever. So it starts out, car's not really that great. Well, it was good at one point, that it turns not great, and that crash happens in front of the field with Casey Kane. Dale Jr. gets in the back of a car, spins that car into the inside wall, luckily misses Kane, but does get some front end damage from hitting a car, and as you see, they're crashing everywhere in the front stretch. But you can see Kane Rexon Jr. in the Bud car hits a car down towards the inside wall hard. Jr. though does miss Kane. We'll see from Jr.'s onboard. Remember, he was 4th in points coming into the race with a shot at the points, a long shot at the championship. But you can see as the crash happens in front, everyone slows up in front. Jr. can't slow up in time. Hits the car right there, spins him around, and Jr. concerned about the radiator on the front of the car with that damage.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. got into the back of Travis Kvapil and turned him around accidentally as they were checking up for that wreck. He had his crew come in and take a look at the front of the car. You can see the hood pushed down a little bit, and then just above the screen pushed in a little bit as well. So far, they don't think it will affect the radiator. The cooling on the car should be fine. They came and made a 4-tire stop, made no changes to Junior's chassis.
Well, if they were tight before, that may even help them, because I bet you that helps the front, pin the front of the car.
So what do the standings look like now?
Pretty close.
That is as few as 2 positions.
If Kurt Busch can gain 2 spots, he'll be tied with Jimmy Johnson.
Sadly, Jr. cannot come home with the championship.
Yeah, well, and the car was really good at one point, and from there on out, it's the worst car I ever drove. Something in the brakes was, every time I mashed the brake pedal, it was shaking the car was spinning out, getting in the corner. Just real frustrating. I mean, the year was great, and we were a long shot coming in today, so my expectations were just to have a good time, have a good day, had a decent car in practice, so I was expecting to run to kind of decent, and really, really frustrating how the car ran. Real frustrating how it gets that way, and we can't seem to fix it. We got to figure that out. I don't know what to do, but we just got to get better, But congratulations to Kurt. I'm real proud of them guys. I mean, he's a fun guy to race with. It was an honor all year long to race with all them guys in the series. Thank you.
Like Junior said, a great year. Alan?
So he ends the season 5th in points, 138 back, 113 back without a penalty. This is where it comes in. Well, he didn't lose because of the penalty, but it definitely hurt him. So he loses the championship by 138 points. But if you add on 25 points from that penalty, he loses it by 113 points. But the Atlanta deal, where he drove in over his head, possibly because he wanted to make it up to his crew for the past few races, he drove in over his head and spun himself around. So if he, say, gets by Carl Edwards cleanly, he could probably get by Mark Martin as well. If he finishes second, he would only lose the championship by 7 points, which is equivalent of laps led in 2 races he didn't lead a lap win, which could be Homestead, Darlington, Atlanta, Martinsville, or Kansas. Or it could be a few spots better at Martinsville or Homestead. Martinsville, of course, he had all of those issues. Homestead, he didn't finish that well. But at Richmond, he was only 1 point behind Jimmy for second in points. And remember, if he had been ahead, that would have been 5 more points. He would have only lost by 2 points then, which would be lap led and only 1 race. So a great season for Dale Earnhardt Jr. A lot of what ifs, though, on the season. A lot that could have happened close to the championship. That's it. That's all.